like it's not always the truth. And I agree with that. That's true because like most of the things, the examples that he brought up are like, yeah, that's true. Like just because someone said it's true doesn't make it true. And a lot of things don't have self-correcting mechanisms. I like how he brought up the fact that if you have like a publication or something, like you have to have it peer reviewed, right? Like that one time that guy wrote a journal about how vaccines cause autism and everyone lost their minds over it. And then a few years down the line, they peer reviewed it and they were like, no, this is false. But by the time that paper already got published and went out into the world, everyone was like, yep, I'm not vaccinating my kids. I'd rather them get this disease that is curable and die. I'm not vaccinating them. Aluminium free, whatever. So stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. And he kind of did set the premise for it. He was like garbage in, garbage out. So like the more false information we feed these systems, the more false information we're going to get out of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I did have a bone to pick with him because he kept no, you know what? He did. He kept bashing the Bible a lot. And to me, that was a bit weird because, like, when he brought up other books by other religions, he didn't like bash it as much. And I was wondering why. I mean, I get it. He's Jewish. And like towards the later part of the book, he also mentioned that he was gay. So I was like, okay, I see a connection here. So, okay. But like, he didn't bring up the Quran as much. He didn't bring up any other book as much. He just kept bashing the Bible. And I get it. It's familiar to him and he knows what he's talking about, given his background. But I thought it was a bit much. It was way too critical, but I also see that that's the whole point of the book was to be critical because he also did bring up a lot of good examples. So yeah, that's like chapter 2. Yeah, the Bible bashing was in chapter 2. Stories and shared myths that he called them. Stories and shared myths that bring up these shared realities that people kind of uh, club into was pretty interesting. Also, the narrator kept bringing up the Ramanaya, and I didn't really clock what he was saying. I'm like, that sounds familiar, but I couldn't really understand his pronunciation of it, which was really interesting because that is something that we had to study in school, and it's very traumatic. Okay, I hated that book. The Ramanaya, the Mahavamsa, the Pansya Panas Jataka book, because we had to learn Sinhalese, and Sinhalese is so ingrained with Buddhism and Hinduism that we had to study these stories. And him bringing it up, I was like, oh my gosh, not again. It's school all over again. So yeah. But anyways, good on what's his name? I don't know. The prince who rescues the princess from the bad guy who was in Sri Lanka. So that was pretty interesting. Anyways, okay, chapter 3, documents. Uh, So this kind of reminded me of the whole how history is told from the perspective of the victor. So I think that's what he was trying to bring up too. Like for example, okay, we have a war, but then like we only get to hear it from the point of view of whoever won the war. Like the people who lost aren't gonna be around to tell the story. So like the documents we have saved are like basically whatever we have is whatever the people who were able to put it down was able to put out. So that's what we have as a basis for our documents now. So I thought that was interesting too. Um, so the next chapter, he was talking about the errors and the biases. That's really interesting because there was this other case where I guess 50, 60 years ago, like when we were at the height of racism and the civil war movement and whatnot, like judges were putting black people away into jail solely because they were racist. So if I look at those numbers now, I'm going to see that, oh, so black people went to jail much more than any other race. But that's inaccurate, is it not? They were put in jail because the judges were racist. But if I look at those numbers now, I'm going to draw the conclusion that, oh, black people commit more crimes. So is that really true, or was that because of racism back then? So we'll never know. So it's true, like what, like those things have happened, and that's the data we have right now. So AI is going to look at all of that and come to conclusions like that, like, oh, the black people are bad, they commit so much crimes. So when it comes like jobs and stuff, like if there are two candidates, like who's going to get the job? Like, I mean, we still do have systematic racism or whatever, but when we feed all this information into AI systems, I guess we're going to have a bigger problem. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. The thing where he was talking about the witch hunts too, that was pretty cool. I did not know that, but that was pretty not cool. That's not the word, but it's good to know. Not cool. I'm
Mm.
not endorsing any of this. It's just that it's interesting to know. Then the next one was democracy and totalitarianism. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty cool too. How like in a democracy, like it's more prone to self-correcting, whereas if we had like a dictatorship, like they just make the decisions for us. So that was pretty cool. Okay, what was the other one? Oh yeah, when he brought up like computers, like of course they're intelligent, but they don't have a conscious. So like a microorganism is intelligent too, wherein like they know that they have to get food to survive, but they don't have a conscious like we do. So like in time, do you think that AI is also gonna get a conscience? And like what even is the point of us then? So that was pretty cool. The point where he brought that AI is always on. So like he compared it to like a doctor. So I can type in my symptoms and get a diagnosis on ChatGPT. And whereas if I want to see a doctor, I'll probably get an appointment 6 months down the line if I want to see my primary care physician. Whereas I can just put my symptoms onto ChatGPT and they're like, take a deep breath. Honestly, you're doing such a good job telling me what your symptoms are. Thank you, ChatGPT. I am doing a good job.
The validation.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was really interesting. Then he brought up that case in Myanmar, but the whole Facebook thing, I was like, okay, yeah, but that is scary. So yeah. And yeah, with the whole social media thing, social media is engineered to have the most engagement, not necessarily the most truthful content being put out. So that's true. Like even if you go on TikTok, like you get all these people. Like was it yesterday or the day before when Trump almost got shot again? Like you have people saying,
Mm.
"Oh no, they missed just a couple of inches to the right, and you would have got him." And then people like, "How can you say something like that? He's still a human being." And other people like, "Yes, you are so right. They should have got him." Like seriously, is this the kind of content you guys are debating about? It's so dumb. Anyways, yeah, and that brings me to the next point of chapter 9. Like he was talking about how can people actually have a conversation. Like people are so polarized, right? And ChatGPT is like watching and learning all of these things. So if you were to run my ChatGPT history right now, you can see all baby content and stuff, and like so many stupid questions like, why is my baby laughing at inanimate objects? And then ChatGPT is like, oh, that's just really normal for a 7-month old. It's not that there's anything wrong. It's just that everything is fascinating to him. Like if he sees a shadow, it's like, oh, that's so cool. I need to smile at it. I was like, oh,
That's
thank
a
you,
that's a
ChatGPT.
that's a real example, I'm assuming.
Yes,
Nice.
just yesterday. So yeah.
Love it.
So yeah. He. So what was this? Yeah, I think he was kind of talking about how democracies are founded when informed, educated, and intelligent people engage in rational debate. And like that does not really happen today, right? Like, yeah, we do have people who are qualified to make these decisions, but like just go on TikTok and you'll see people having political discussions and it's so like emotionally charged. They're not really talking about the actual political situation. Like they're just saying, but I feel like it's like this, and like I think that this is this. So it's not like I don't know helpful in a way. And like again, these are the sort of things that are getting fed into AI. So like, are they going to make a decision based on actual factual information or just based on human feelings and stuff like that? Um, yeah, he was also saying that he kind of painted a very doom and gloom picture. He's like, ultimately, AI is going to run the world. I don't know. I don't think so. Of course, I think there should be checks and balances, but no one's really doing anything right now. So I guess because of that, like all of AI is kind of snowballing, and we don't know where it's going to end up. Like I said at the start, like it's like, oh, like smoking, right? Like I know it's bad for me, but I can stop if I want to stop. But like, why would I want to? Like somebody smarter or better than me can figure this out. So there's that. I like the thing that he said about the silicon curtain. But like probably down the line, countries are no longer going to be countries. It's just going to be based on who has control over these systems and the information. So yeah, again, it really kind of made me think about who's in charge. Is it like Elon Musk or like Jeff Bezos, or is there like a secret organization in China who's like controlling everything? We don't know. Or is it Russia? Or is it the United States? We don't know. Or is it none of these people? Everyone thinks that they are in charge, but no one really is. So yeah. Then there was that other thing. The reliance on like AI and the loss of human agency, about how like we want AI to like do the chores for us, like do the cooking and stuff so that we can spend more time on our art and our creativeness. But it's happening the other way around. Like ChatGPT can like make art while we're still stuck doing all the shows. So that was pretty cool too. Of course, like is AI making us stupider? Yes, AI is making us stupider. I know that it's making me stupider, but again, I can't stop. I am addicted to ChatGPT. So yeah, yeah. Then there's the impact on the environment. Like every time I type in a question, it's like pouring out a bottle of water. I know that too, yet I keep doing it. So what is wrong with me? So yeah, this book just kind of was like a slap in the face. Like you know it's bad for you, yet you're still doing it. So that's where I'm
Hmm.
at. I'm done. That's my review.
That was a lot of notes. Oh, so
That was a lot of notes, but no, but
what is your review overall though? What did you like? Oh, even just like a number, like you liked it, hated it. What do you think you'll rate it?
no, no, I liked it except for the Bible bashing. But I guess like he had to bring out examples, so like I get it. I thought it was a bit too much, so I'm gonna deduct like maybe a star or two because of that. But like the book really did make me think, and I learned a lot from it. So I can't call it a bad book. It's in no way a bad book. So yeah, I'll land on probably like 4 stars. I think that's fair. I
Cool.
think.
All right. Man, I do not have multiple pages, but I'm looking back. Well, I had about this many notes from Way of Kings, but that was like 3 books combined. Before that, though, yeah, this is the first time I've had this many notes. Dang, I had this many notes on Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil for some reason. I was like hard on that.
Wow.
I don't know why. Hmm. Anyway, I thought that the book was very, very thoughtful, and I was consistently impressed by the amount of research that he did overall. Even with the Bible bashing, and I agree. But the amount of knowledge he had, it was very specific Bible bashing, right? Like your average Bible bashing that you hear as a Christian is just Jesus is stupid kind of stuff, or like misquoting stuff and whatnot. But he knows
Yeah.
he knows his scriptures like well. It was like very, very like deeply researched, and that went along with like everything, all of the historical stuff, um, going way, way back, and then coming through, and the stuff in like the wars, and yeah, that was impressive. And at the same time, I didn't feel like I was being talked down to. I guess I felt talked down to when he was doing the Bible bashing, but that's not like that's like specific to me. But like, I think it was like very well explained for someone of like just about any like intelligence level. Even though he was talking about very high level things, he was constantly putting out like very good like analogies and stuff that I think made it easy to grasp and
Mm.
whatnot. Um, yeah, I agree with the religious talk. He should have talked about others more. I also kind of wish that he talked about science essentially like as a religion as well, because there's like some like talk about that and like what what it does for like morality and blah blah blah. Anyways, you could definitely tell he was like biased, and I think
Mm.
his biases, I don't know. They tend. I mean, biased opinions. Like I always like don't like them. But I think with this book in particular, I think it really, really like undermines his point here. Because the thing is there's a massive amount of people that profess being Christian or Jewish in this world, and he needs those
Yeah.
people on board if we're gonna like fight this AI as well. Like, you know what I mean? This is not like this is not a problem that is like that's like only affecting like liberal people. Like, like Trump followers need to know this, Democrats need to know this, like Islamic people need to know this, Confucius Taoist people need to know, like you know what I mean? Like it's but there was definitely like a bead of liberal bias that kind of went through all of it. And again, like once I found out that he was Jewish and that he was gay, I was like, got it. It made sense
Yeah.
at that point, but it's just like a shame because it didn't turn me off like so bad, but I could see it turning a whole lot of other people off, and it's not a good idea because the book has some pretty good ideas to share, I think. Um, one thing from like the earlier part of the book that I thought was pretty interesting is the idea that humans are very very good at retaining like stories, and we love stories so much, and we're like story driven creatures. I had never really thought of that before, and that feels pretty true. I don't know. I'm sure there's like research into that, and I'm sure he wasn't just pulling that out of his butt, but that just sounded like that was very interesting. And it also, it kind of made me think too of like Rocky in Project Hail Mary. And you know how he's constantly telling him that he's just like stupid human, bad with numbers, that kind of thing. And it kind of made me wonder,
Yeah.
like, was Rocky's species maybe like not so good with stories, but they were great with numbers? You know what I mean? Like the inherent way that their brain functioned was like more mathy than it was literature or whatever. But yeah, that just kind of stuck in my mind as I was reading this. That was pretty cool. Um, I liked what he talked about with bureaucracy, and I think that was good that he talked about it because it ended up making a lot more sense as he went forward and talked about the AI and stuff, that like we need bureaucracy just for like common public safety and whatnot, but it also makes things like very very hard to understand, and then because it's obfuscated, it makes the truth harder to get to. uh and I think it was during that time he even brought up like the fact that like you never um what did he, like all stories that we end up gravitating towards, they're always like biological human dramas, you know what I mean? Like like love stories or something like that. We don't gravitate to stories about like numbers and lists because it's just not how our brains work, and that's why we need bureaucracy, because it's to make our human brains actually be able to do something good with Excel documents and whatnot, basically. So yeah, that was all kind of cool. um I thought because this is like I see this like talked about occasionally, and again, like I wish he had like said something about it, that like uh when the Nazis didn't do what they did because of a religion, at least in the conventional sense, but they did it because of like a chase of like science as a religion, even though it was like unfounded. And again, like I think if he was just being more honest, he would have talked about that more, or at least I don't know, just kind of like a missed opportunity. But we had a lot of like horrible things happen because of religion throughout the years, but Nazism was not quite one of them. It was the opposite, I guess. I also thought the democratic and totalitarian chapters, that might have been like my favorite ones, because I never really like thought about the idea that mass communication is just like needed for either one of them to exist. Like if like before, I don't know, like emails and phone calls and TV shows and media and propaganda and whatnot, you couldn't have a totalitarian dictatorship. Kind of like back in Rome, like they would have liked to have a totalitarian dictatorship, but they just didn't have the technology yet. And I never really thought of that being the limiting factor. That was kind of cool. Um, one thing that stood out to me, I mean, he had his examples were so good. Like I really liked the, like, just, yeah, all of the factual information presented in this book. I thought it was like very very well done. That thing about that automatic tracking of the women wearing the hijab or not, and they were like getting like auto penalized by the system or whatever, that was crazy. I didn't even know that was a
Yeah.
thing, but that was kind of mind blowing, and sucked basically. Um, let me see. Uh, you covered a lot of the other ones that I had written down, but overall, a big takeaway for me was totally loved the facts presented. reading this kind of like a textbook almost, like really like excited me, and I thought it was just like very good. His opinions about those facts, I'm not so sure I liked them very often. Um, like the idea that he was like so doom and gloom about the AI. I kind of like tend to think like you, like I'm not so sure if it's going to get so doom and gloom, but we do need to be like wary. Um, and that every like his premise for going doom and gloom, I think, was like an opinion. You know what I mean? Because he's just projecting what he thinks will happen rather than facts, basically. And also going back to like like the
Yeah.
religion thing, that also just like I don't know if I like this guy's opinion so much, but as a research presenter, I thought it was top notch, and I liked that more than the opinion. Overall, I enjoyed it too. I'm probably also going to give it 3 or 4 stars, probably 4, because his
Oh,
opinions didn't like ruin it for me, but yeah, uh, probably would have been a 5 star if I liked his opinions too. I guess, but mostly just liked all of the learning and making me think. And yeah, oh yeah, and then just like a bonus thing for you guys to do some research on if you want to. This gets kind of like pumped into my brain. I think mostly because I do a lot of stuff like in the stock markets these days, so it's like part of my algorithm to see these things. Whoa, the colors in the background are like not right. It's green. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Um, Um, Basically, AI, as we have come to know it, is financially failing, and it is looking to be like one of the biggest financial failures like in history as it's going right now. Like it's like scary bad for some of these companies that have like invested like really heavily in it. And the answer is like very convoluted, but like at the same time you can kind of boil it down to this. Yes, Manel, you use ChatGPT constantly, but are you using a free account?
Yes.
Do you know anybody who's paying money for ChatGPT? I mean, there are people, but like,
I think,
do you know a lot of people?
like in our department, we have one
Right,
corporate
that you guys like
account.
share an
But
account. Yeah, for our whole company, we
yeah,
have like one premium account, and we're sharing it between like 50
yeah,
different
yeah,
people. Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like it like the whole like bottle of water thing. It's also like incredibly costly money wise for like every one of your
yeah,
questions, and we are not
yeah,
paying even remotely close to what it costs. And that is why you see it being shoved down your throat from every direction, like AI this, AI that. It's because they're lacking sales in like a monumental way. So like in this strange way, AI might get beaten because it's not financially viable, rather than us fighting off the robots or whatever. It might just fail because of money. At least now for a while. Uh, Interesting. You like look into it, but like yeah, like a lot of things are like collapsing. And actually, I made some good money this past week on doing day trading, because what's happening right now is a lot of the huge companies, they're imploding and selling off all of their AI generation like GPUs and computer software at like 90% discount. And other companies that have nothing to do with AI, like there's this shoe company that just bought a shit ton of this AI stuff and then announced to the market, "Hey, we're gonna do AI stuff," and their stock like went up like crazy because everyone was like, "Oh, it's AI, it's gonna be awesome," but it's really like it's showing like the market is like decaying, and then like, a lot of these companies are already going out of business because there's no one to buy. Uh, Fun stuff. Okay, now I think I'm done.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Big shoes to fill here.
you're all right.
Um, rocks for brains. Okay. Overall, I can hell this is sticky. Overall, I really it's a 5 star for me, and I want to say I agree with most of the things that you guys say, but the best part of this book to me was the research. I love the history, like QAnon, the medieval times, like all of like the history. Like that was my favorite part, and that's what I really latched on to versus just like everything else. I also did think he was a Bible basher, and I was just like, you know, um, but Separate from you guys, I am very, I'm not gonna say anti AI, because I do think AI has its time and place and there are like a lot of uses for it. But I'm in the camp of, I do think AI is making us stupider. I do think AI is going to fuck us as a civilization, in the sense that people can no longer like process or think things for themselves, which fair. But the thing that throws me off the most about AI and the doom and the gloom for me is like imagery and scamming and bots. And he talked a little bit about that, but that is the scariest part of AI to me. Is like you can no longer tell like an AI generated image. And I just think our media literacy is going to be severely affected by it, and that's very worrisome. Like deepfake porn, and when election time comes, like there's been so many bots that have been exposed that like we're like, oh, they were MAGA, oh, they were like far right liberals, or like all this crazy shit. And they were just like bots that were like perpetrating this through like people creating these accounts. And he talked about it in here too. And we've seen like so many documentaries on it. So for me, the fear in AI lies not in how it can advance us as a civilization, but how we can use it against ourselves. And I think that's terrifying. Um, Trump using AI in the way that he does, like this current administration, I think is absolutely insane. Like I understand that we need to respect AI, but the fact that they're like our administration is using it in the way that it is just like pisses me the fuck off, and I just don't agree with it. So I kind of, this book was just kind of reading the fears and like the kind of like, well, we could kind of see it, that I already feel that I think it's differently from you guys. Also, people are becoming very anti AI, and it and here's the thing, and this is no shame to anybody who uses AI in this conversation, okay? But people who are, I feel like people who are generally like, I'm not gonna say more educated, but people who generally, I don't know. I feel like people use AI in very different ways, and people that I would want to know don't use AI that way, and people that I do not want to know use AI in a very specific way, and that's like, I don't know how to explain that. Um, so second to that, people are becoming very anti AI as well, and I just don't know how that's going to play out. I think it's such a small minority of people that it's not going to move the needle in any way. But there is like a growing camp of people who are just like, that's absolutely insane. And it's a lot of people who deal with like arts and humanities. And I think it's more criticism of people who are not willing to learn things or actually researching themselves, and just like go straight to like ChatGPT to like look it up. And then like taking that as a truth, instead of just like being like, like, because again, like he mentioned in this book, like chat is wrong sometimes. The more false information we provide into it, the more false information it's going to spit out. And there's so many examples of that. So who's to say that Russia, which I'm pretty sure they were, or something, there was a story about that, just can't just like input this information. Seeing the fucking Chinese bot farms where they have walls of fucking cell phones, you know what I mean? Like, I just do think it's gonna be used for bad instead of good, and that's what freaks me out. And this book kind of just like reiterated that. But on the other hand, I do see the good in it. I do see like the health benefits of it, like the data, like processing the data. Like, yes, I get all of that and I appreciate that. And I do want AI for that. But it's just tough because there's just like, the same thing. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with this. I really like this book. I really like the history of it. Like you guys said, I really, really appreciated the research. I'm a little bit like more like, no, I did notice the Bible bashing, and I was just like, okay. But you guys pretty much covered all of the topics that I feel, except for I am very afraid of AI. Like you know what I mean? And I also am afraid of AI in the way that he like mentioned capitalism AI, because that's why we're at the point where we're just paying the things that we are paying for. Like that's why we're at the point where we are. Like I think in our economy too, is just because they're using AI to like, how many times have you added something to your cart at a certain price? And then you go back and it's like lower. And I'm not saying that's necessarily AI, but I do think there's some AI element to it. But I just do think that AI is just like at the at the root of like us really struggling as an American society, or not even American, just like society in general with the economy, because capitalism, like they are using that information to completely fuck us. You know what I mean? And it's just tough. It's like really tough. Like they're not. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but like they're not putting barcodes, like they're not putting prices on things anymore. Like it's just like there's just like a whole slew of things behind AI that really, really do freak me out and that I don't really like. I think kids are getting stupider because they're using AI. They're not learning. Teachers have mentioned it so many times in schools and stuff like that. And like that's really tough too, you know. So like I said, this is just like me kind of discussing how I feel about AI in the end. But yeah, I liked the book. I thought it was really interesting. Like I said, my favorite part was like the research and the history behind it. Like I just thought like the AI information was cool, but like the history of information and the carrier pigeons and the Soviet Union and the fucking hijab thing, like all of that was so incredibly interesting to me, and I love that so much. And that's all I really have to say for now.
Cool.
Like so like me and my okay, so to like kind of talk about this too, like me and my position and the work that I do, I cannot use AI. Like I use AI, I secretly use AI. I don't think I don't use AI, okay? I do. But social media is also coming to the point where you can't use AI. It's very anti-AI in the comments and the way people are like responding to things. So I cannot like sometimes like I would be in a position where like, oh, let's use AI, and I'm like, we can't use AI. Like our audience will not like that. Our audience will throw tomatoes at us. Like so it's like tough too because like what do you do? Anyways.
Interesting.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
But also though, like when we say AI, GPT, I mean ChatGPT is the easiest target and the first thing that comes to mind. But like it's more than that, right? Like you can't even Google something simple anymore without it giving you an AI overview. And
Review.
like if you try to call some company, you just get a
Just get a
AI
bot.
spokesperson. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
difficult to try to get to a real person. So it's much more
Yeah.
bigger than ChatGPT. So it's not some like I can decide today I'm not gonna
Yeah.
use ChatGPT anymore. But like it's still all around us though.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we really don't have any control of it.
And I agree with the Manel's point too. Like, I think Chat GPT is like the smallest fish we have to fry in like the age of AI. To be completely honest with you, like it's literally nothing. Like, let people fucking Chat GPT what they want, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I do think it is a useful tool. I'm talking about like the other things, like the consumer is like the capitalism AI. What Manel just said, I forgot. I'm talking about like the bad AI. Um, fucking talking to bots, like chats too. Like like I don't think it's like making our lives any easier when it comes to like getting things solved in our as consumers, and that's what's kind of frustrating sometimes. Like even on TikTok now, they just had an update where like the caption, like they have the caption, you can hit more and it gives you an AI overview of what you're watching, and then someone like we don't need that. Like why? And I think my biggest issue is like why are we adding this fucking AI into everything? Like why does it always have to be there? Like I don't know. I don't fucking like it. Like you can't shut
It's.
it off.
I
You
think
can't
it's
shut it
because they're
off.
trying to make money. That's my understanding now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
So hopefully
Anyways, that's all.
hopefully it's a sign of it like
Hold on,
basically
Dexter.
basically like what I've mostly seen is that at least for like the foreseeable future, this being because we won't have the technology to do it right and to do it cheap for probably like 60 or 70 years. They a lot of people think that it will become niche instead of all encompassing global, because the niche is the only people that will actually pay for it. Like your one account that you have at work, and my one account. I
Paid
use
for
the AI
ChatGPT when
tools.
it first came out.
Yeah, like I use the AI tools pretty consistently in doing photography, video editing. It's starting to get like decently good. Like, but niche, because there's only going to be some professionals that will actually pay money for it. But
Yeah,
for all the other people that won't pay money for it, maybe it'll fade, which I think would be great. I think that would probably fix our
Interesting.
problem, but we'll see.
I do also think it's like incredibly fucked and again, this is just like my own personal thing. I do think it's incredibly fucked how these corporations, Meta cut like 7,000 jobs recently so that they could invest in AI and have AI do these things. And I just think it's just like, so what about us? Like, what is the end goal here? If you're going to use AI to replace us in all of these things, what are you know what I mean? Like, there's such like a trickle effect to that, and I just don't see the end goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we're cutting jobs with AI and we're not creating more opportunities, especially like for somebody like Meta, like what's happening? Like, where is it going? I don't know.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Like my last thing too. And what I do too, I think there's way less jobs. And I think people have like a really misunderstanding of like what it is now because, well, old people are like, oh, we could just use AI. We don't need anybody to do that. We could just use AI. And it's just like, okay, use it, you fucking anyways, never mind.
Dang. Nice
You know what I
commentary.
mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. The thing that I thought of while you were talking is agreed. The history was my favorite part, even modern history, even stuff that's happening now. But just yeah, all of, like the factual data was so great, and I definitely wish there was like more of it because he turned hardcore to AI like at around like the 40% mark, and
Yeah.
I could have done like 70% before he even got to the 1900s, and just like stayed back then because I was loving that part. But I mean, it wasn't his whole thesis, so it makes sense. But yeah. Um, and then two things that popped up in my hand as we were having conversations. I have like one for each of you guys in terms of like what is truth. You know, is it que veritas? Uh, so like Julia, you're saying there's like this growing sect of like anti AI people. From my perspective, I see more and more AI acceptance. And who's right? I don't really know. But what sucks is it's because like your algorithm is feeding you something different than it's feeding me, and I'm seeing people that are into it, and you're seeing people that hate it.
What age?
Uh, mm,
Right?
probably like late 20s to like mid 40s. Probably it's all of like the like tech and gamer kind of things that I watch and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very divisive. I'm telling you, because I do see people who are like, sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to like add on to that, so maybe it helps. I don't know. Like, It's literally crazy. Anyways.
yeah.
I could literally go on forever talking about this because I do see both sides, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and
damn.
I'm just saying we all have like different worldviews because each of our YouTube algorithms functions differently, tailored to us, and that's strange. Oh, and then the
Yeah.
one I had from Manel is like you were talking about the Trump shooting, and you were talking about how like you had a bunch of people, like pissed, saying that they missed. So when it was first
Yeah.
happening, all I saw was like people like reacting in horror. I think just because like
Oh,
my feed gives me conservative things. And then like a day
Yeah.
later, I saw what you were talking about, but it was just because some like more conservative people were like bashing on the people who were doing that. But I never
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
it
that's what I
firsthand.
get
Okay,
too.
okay. Yeah, and it's interesting
I
because
get
obviously
the
that stuff was happening, but who like what kind of algorithm do you have to have seen it firsthand? To have gotten that fed to you instead
yeah.
of being, you know what I mean, like recycled and then refed. Did you see any of that firsthand, Julia?
I have a very like anti-Trump timeline, and I saw it
You saw the
firsthand.
actual ones. Yeah, yeah. I saw
I saw
nothing. I
everything
saw nothing
firsthand.
organic. I only saw people reporting on what had happened, basically.
Oh no, I saw all the clips. I saw all the
Sure.
memes. I saw everything.
Yeah. Just interesting. So like we have different realities,
Yeah.
and it's being
And that's
governed
and
by being governed by an algorithm that is essentially an artificial intelligence that's been around for a very long
yes.
time. And yeah, fascinating stuff.
And that's why, like, and when I, okay, not even interviewing, and then when I talk to my clients, And when I talk to people, especially with what I do, okay, social media, I always tell people, and I will like scream this from the rooftops. What you consume on social media is a fucking bubble because you're
Mhm.
only getting fed the things
That you'll click.
that the algorithm is picking up for you.
Yeah.
Like that is it. You are not seeing anything else because of it. Like everybody consumes social media so incredibly different that no one you live in whatever the fucking reality you created for your algorithm, and that's it. Like that is it. And people have like done this. They've done like where you get like crazy algorithm. Like people have had like I have like when I have my work phone, I had a completely different algorithm, just very dependent. I don't know. It's just it's really insane.
Yeah. We be screwed, y'all. Okay. Shall I
Okay, the
stop
thing
the
You
that
have,
scares me the
recording?
most is
Nope.
like
Go ahead.
the
oh
thing
no,
that
I was just
scares
gonna
me the
ask
most is
you.
like deep fake porn and sorry and like people using images and like these. Oh, so here's my thing. Here is my like biggest thing and like my biggest fear is that my parents are gonna get scammed by AI.
Parent,
And
sure.
that terrifies me. Sorry, Hannah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, you're right about the deep fakes. So at least I'll give credit to where credit is due. I know that Melania, she you are caught using deep fakes to generate porn of other people. That is to be in prison. So okay, that's pretty good, that law that they passed. But also, like, isn't it just happening underhand anyway? Like, if it happens to a famous person, then yes, they're
Sure.
gonna
No,
get jailed. But like anyone,
it happens to everybody.
Like the
Like
reality
if
is
you
that
have
it
like
would take
crappy
me way
friends,
longer, but I could make some myself.
okay,
I have like a powerful enough
right?
GPU.
no,
So there's
Like
no getting rid of it is it's just gonna retreat into the dark web instead of being easier to get, basically.
okay, yes, yes, okay. And
exactly.
here is the fucking
Yeah,
second part of that, and this is why I can talk about this forever. This is why people are saying, don't put your fucking children on social media. Okay? Like
Mm.
you like everything that we post is just like imagine you just have like some weird guy that fucking likes you. Okay? And he has enough you have enough photos on your fucking social media for him to have so much time on his hand that he creates porn of you. Like it's of people who are into children. Like it's fucking crazy. Like it is insane. Like you have to like really think about it. Like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Um, I was just gonna say something and then I lost it. Oh well.
oh yeah, I had a question for you. So since yeah, you're like totally in the know about the stock market, right? And but he did also touch upon how like AI could manipulate the stock market. Like one day you wake up on Monday and realize, oh no, they made changes and you had no idea that these changes were even happening. Do you think something like that can happen? Because he made it sound very plausible. But like, do you think so? Because I know that we have like robo advisors and whatnot. Like on my Fidelity account, I see like, oh yeah, sign up for AI virtual robo financial advisor and like do all of this. But that's a bit scary to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. 100%. I think I like my tinfoil hat about when I'm like doing the day trading and I'm starting to notice is like there's these like mythical organizations out there that we call like market makers, and
Mm-hmm.
their whole thing is to like create waves in the stock market, and then people like me ride those
Yeah.
waves and try and make
Yeah.
money. And
Mm-hmm.
they're already and have been controlled by algorithms for like a very long time. And I don't think he talked about this enough, but I give them credit for that because this gets into the weeds too much. Because like what we say is like AI is very like wishy-washy about what the where the line is between like is it when it's based off of an LLM or is it like other thing, it doesn't really matter, but the thing that the algorithms, they're all based off of whether or not it's LLM or like something predating that. It's like already happening, except right now they're just using it to like make more money. But could they
Yeah.
use that power to like make something really bad happen? 100%. Like, 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 I could even see it like if someone wanted to and someone got like coordinated enough, they could have used like maybe like this war in Iran to like do some market maker crap and like cause like a full blown like depression to happen somewhere. And you could even target it to like only happen within like Asia or something like that. because you could just have it like only affect those stock markets and whatnot. Like it is kind of scary. It is kind of nuts, and I think it's already happening. So it could get worse. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, we're screwed, y'all. Unless it runs out of money.
So
Hopefully,
you
it
would
runs out of
like
money. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. Is that fair?
Mhm.
Good on the